If you're a part of the track community, then you know that we're a minority. Not many people are interested in our sport, and they don't really watch it unless it's the Olympics. And on top of that, track athletes really get the short end of the stick and come in like terms of being a quote-unquote pro athlete. They kill their bodies all year round just to make some chump change, like barely $2,000 without a sponsorship. So unless you're in that top 1% of people like Usain Bolt or like Sha'Carri Richardson, who are just one of them ones at the top forever and like are getting big ass endorsement deals from like Puma or Nike, you're not gonna make that much money for real. And these are like the main reasons that track gets slept on as a sport. So I've been sitting and I've been thinking, and I've been like, all right, how can track save itself? So a few months ago, if y'all don't know, Michael Johnson, the current, or not current, but the former American record holder for the 200 and the 400, he said basically he's launching a new track league in April of next year. So he's already got the funds for it and everything, so he's making his own track league. And many track athletes who are pro right now, like Christian Coleman, he stated how he's excited for this and will want to be a part of the opportunity. So I really believe that this is a good step in the right direction for the sport, but this is how I would do it if I was in charge, and how I feel like if he does these steps the way I would do it, that this would just cause the sport to grow exponentially. So my first initiative when creating this league would basically be, I would be like Thanos, essentially. I would be trying to collect as many endorsement deals and sponsorships as possible. So kind of like how Disney owns like hella companies, I would try to reach out to as many companies as I can to see how many sponsorships, no matter what it is. It doesn't. They don't all have to be like big brands like Adidas or New Balance or Nike. They can just be smaller brands like the sport watches. Like I know Fred Curley, he got a sponsorship from one of those sport watches companies. Like just little shit like that. Anything that we can get to get an extra bit of income coming into our league. And with this extra income, it'll only help get better facilities and be able to pay our athletes better. And that goes on to my second thing. With this track league that I would create, the people who are signed to the league, they get paid a yearly salary no matter what. Like they will get paid a salary. It's not just winning. Now if you just are trash, if you get into the league and you're just ass and you're never winning, or you're not getting close to winning, you're not even placing, anything like that, you will eventually get cut. But I feel like if everybody has a starter salary, then that'll promote the league better, and that'll get people a little bit more motivation to like work harder to actually get to this sport, especially people who are like younger, like in high school or in college right now. Here's how I would reach out to athletes to get them to join the league, right? So at first, I'm going to make it like how the NBA was, right? So the NBA, when it first started, it didn't have all the teams that it had now. It just had a few teams, and then they started expanding. So that's what we would do. So it's like, but I would also, so I'm combining like two types of things. I'm combining how the NBA is, or like the NFL is, with like one major league. But at the same time, it's going to be like how soccer is, where it has clubs. So in the beginning, it's all under one major league right now, under my league that's based in America. And it'll have, in the beginning, it'll literally just be one club. Just one major, the league will just be one major club. And then once it starts getting enough money and stuff like that, and it starts getting more popular, that's when it will start expansion. So to promote the league in the beginning, when it first starts, I would grab two types of people. I would grab one, somebody who's already popularly known in the track world, who is not only just popular, but they also are decent. So I would probably, like a lot of people, they would assume I'm going to grab like Noah Lyles or like Sha'Carri Richardson. But no, the first person that I'm going to reach out to for this league is Aaron Brown. Now hear me out. So everybody knows that Aaron Brown, he can slide, but we all know that he just runs that shit to run it. He don't really want to go to the Olympics. He could if he qualifies in the 200 for the trials, but they don't make bread for real, so he don't care about that. Aaron Brown is about his money. So if this league has enough money where I can assure to him that he's going to get paid a salary, and on top of that salary, he's a TikTok and social media influencer who's pretty fucking popular. So he's going to bring a whole bunch of fans to view it just off rip, just because of him. So if I can get him a good deal that he agrees to, I could sign him probably. And then, so that's the first person I'm going to get. The second type of person is somebody who is either a upcoming star like Quincy Wilson or like Osama Singa, but he's kind of like banned right now for a few years. But like somebody like Quincy Wilson or somebody who's been in track for a minute who's pretty widely known. So I would say Kenny Benerick. Kenny Benerick, he's tough in the 200, and he's doing pretty well. Like, he's placed, he got a medal, I think. Yeah, he got a medal in the Tokyo Olympics. I feel like he's a good fit. So Aaron Brown and Kenny Benerick will be the two prospects that I would try to recruit first. So let's just say best case scenario, right? Let's say I can sign both of them, right? So Aaron Brown, he's going to be Aaron Brown. He's going to go on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. He's going to talk about it. And you're like, look, we're having our first promotional meet, right? Because the first meet is going to be like how the Florida Relays or some shit was like. So Aaron Brown, he's going to go on Instagram or whatever, or TikTok, talk about it. It's going to promote hella people to come watch it or view into it. And that's just going to bring way more ad revenue and viewership to the league, right? And then Kenny Benerick, when people see that Kenny got into it, somebody with experience who's been a pro for a few years, a lot more pros are going to be like, hey, we don't really get the spotlight like this. Obviously, they're going to hop ship from the Diamond League or whatever to try to hop over here and get that viewership and the money that they really deserve, right? So, boom. Let's just say we set it up. Aaron starts talking about it like December, right? And like May, that's when the first promotional shit will happen, right? So, boom, fast forward to like May, springtime. That's when the first promotional meet will be. So, boom, we have the meet. We have a bunch of recognizable faces, right? Like, they might not be super big names, but they're people that if you watch track, you've seen them a lot in other meets, right? And they might not even be slow. They just don't get the spotlight like that. So, boom, we got Kenny, we got Aaron Brown out there. We got people like, shit, let's just say I get like Trayvon or somebody like that, right? And Christian Coleman, people like that. We get a pretty stacked starting lineup, essentially. Because that first meet is really, like, I would make the league pay these known stars money just to show up. Like, they're already going to get paid just by showing up, right? And that way, when they get paid and they show up, a lot of people already know they're already going to know their faces. So the fans, they're going to go crazy because they're like, oh, shit, we got matchups. And we got Aaron Brown going against people like Christian Coleman and stuff like that, right? So the first meet, it's a promotional meet. So it's really just going to be, it's not going to be nothing serious. It's really like, it's not even like a real meet. It don't really count. It's just for fan service, essentially. So after this meet, a bunch of publicity and viewership would go to the league, causing us to get more money, to be able to get better endorsements and sign more people over, expand the clubs around the country, and ultimately make track a more popular sport. And eventually, when they have stuff like the championship, which is basically like the playoffs, essentially, but it's more of an individual thing, more people around the world will be watching it as if it was the Olympics. And I think that's the whole goal, is for people to be tapped into track as much as they are as the NBA or the NFL. So this is my plan that I think Michael Johnson should use to make his league work. But at the same time, it's my opinion. So if y'all don't agree with it, that's cool. But Michael Johnson, if you use my ideas and I see it in a year, I want my money.